everyday dedication. You gotta wake up every day and be great on purpose.
You gotta almost become like obsessed with it. Like if you're not obsessed with your goal, you're not gonna get it.
But you gotta claim it. You gotta claim it. You gotta go after it, and you gotta put the work in. You gotta stay dedicated. You gotta stay consistent.
But it cannot be that you're having fun and doing all these things all of the time, but not investing in your health. What's up, what's up, what's up? This is Fitalk. We back.
What's up?
We
Fitalk. What's good? What's goody?
Episode
6, baby.
Oh,
He said 6, but he got 7 fingers up.
Guy.
we're going to start this over.
Come on, man. Let's get going. We good.
We
Brought back
it's
from
too
the
late,
5th
man.
floor.
It's late at night, all right?
It's late, yeah. We normally do Saturdays, yo. It's late night at night.
And we're doing 2 episodes tonight.
So we good. Excuse us.
This whole time we could have went with it since we're doing 2 episodes.
Look, bro, just get it right. Let's go.
But nah, what's up? We gonna introduce ourselves.
Hey, yo, it's Javon Jackson, PR Fit Camp. Let's get it.
See Marty Fit, Mr. Les Burgers More Crunches.
Jeff Hall, Fit Fanatics.
King Dre. Fitness. And your boyfriend still can't work out with us. Let's take it a step further. Because some people saying, well, I ain't got no boyfriend, got a husband. Well, your husband can't work out with us. Let's take it one step further. What about my dad? He can't work out with me either. Or his dad. So grand folks, so everybody, nobody can work out with me. Let's put it right there. Let's get this episode started. Episode 6. Y'all ready?
You need your own podcast.
Yeah, we anyways. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about he's still shivering and breathing hard and shit over here.
He's in heart zone rate 3, alright? He's in heart zone 3 right now.
If y'all paid attention to that,
This nigga always in the fat burner zone. He always burning fat.
But we gonna get into a little bit today. We're gonna start off by talking about free weights versus machines.
So, a lot of people be questioning what's best for me to do. Should I stick with machines? Should I stick with free weights? Because I be in the gym and some guys be talking about, oh, I don't touch machines. I just strictly do free weights. And a lot of people have like pride issues when it comes to machines. So for somebody that's just starting out in fitness, who pretty much is they don't know nothing about form, they don't know nothing about proper depth, proper isolation, I would definitely recommend using machines. So one machine, so when it comes to squats, I would recommend using a Smith machine. Because the Smith machine, first of all, is on a rail. So no matter what, the bar's not gonna get away from you. A lot of people, they'll squat and be like, I'm scared to go down because I'm scared the bar's gonna fall off and vice versa. So with the machines, you have safety grips too. So you can get the proper depth without, you know what I'm saying, you injuring your back, you know what I'm saying, you injuring your legs. So I would recommend trying to start off going to machine weight because, like I said, it pretty much works on your proper form and depth and vice versa, like there. So
and to add on to that, I would say, so when I'm training my clients, I like to mix in multiple different styles of training, which we'll get into another time. But for this purpose, I like to throw in machines, like you said, for correct form for beginners. But also when it comes to me working out or someone that I'm training that is a little bit more experienced, I like to throw them in, mix them in even on the back end of the workout. Because after you're tired, you've done the free weights, you pushed out as much as you can, and you start to lack form because your muscles are tired. Then you can add into the machines just to get that extra little oomph at the end of your workout, and that last little bit of blood into those muscles so that you have that big pump that you want. So I think that there are definitely uses for both of them. I'm not on the ego side where it's, oh, I just only come in and step and just use free weights, because there are a lot of people, professional bodybuilders, that use machines.
I know some that strictly machines. Yeah, for injury purposes.
Exactly. And then also, if you want to put on that size too, you do need sometimes you do need to use the free weights in order to help with that as well. Y'all want to add anything?
I was literally about to say that, but I'm gonna add another component. So also body weight movements, that's kind of like free weights too. So I believe like if you master the body weight movements, you can master form. So you do the machines with endurance. I do body weight with endurance as well. I feel like that's a good way to keep the form, because I mean when fatigue hits, you can get sloppy with weights. So yeah, body weight is just another component.
Yeah, I would say when it comes to machines, definitely for beginners, simply because on every machine, if you go into any gym, every machine has directions on it, as opposed to free weights, you just pick them up and you know what to do. So if you just read the directions, it highlights what muscle group. Normally it's in red, so it shows you what muscle group you're working, so you know what muscle group you're working. It has safety precautions on it, it has instructions. So if you walk in and have no idea how to use this machine, you can just read the instructions and you know how to work it. So machines are definitely good for beginners that don't know what they're doing, also good for form. But when it comes to free weights, I personally like free weights a little better for my advanced clients or for myself, because I feel like free weights make you work a little harder, because you have to stabilize your own body, use more joints and things like that, as opposed to a machine. It's pretty much basically like a one muscle isolation type workout. With free weights, it's all you. No machine is controlling half of the weight for you. It's all you. You're out there by yourself. So beginners, get on machines, read the instructions. It has safety latches and things like that, as opposed to free weights where you pretty much need to know what you're doing or have a trainer there with you.
At the same time too, free weights also, you can go heavier with free weights, as opposed to the machine's going to cap you out at whatever the machine's maximum capacity is. Whereas with dumbbells or with barbells, those can get pretty heavy. Mainly with the dumbbells, those can get pretty heavy once you start counting, you know, one side on the other side. Which brings us kind of to our next topic, which is going to be compound movements versus isolation movements.
So then when you want to break it down, so after we already touched free weights versus machines, so now you got compound movements versus isolation. So compound movements is a movement that recruits more than one muscle or more than one body group at one time. So for example, you have deadlift. So deadlift, you're incorporating your hamstrings, you're incorporating your core, you're incorporating your back, your lower back. So you're hitting 3 muscles for one lift. The same way for bench press. Bench press, you hitting your chest, and you pressing, you also hitting your triceps. You know what I'm saying? And so then when you want to work towards isolation movements focus on one muscle group. So you have dumbbells, dumbbell curls, you isolating just your biceps. Dumbbell shoulder press, you know what I'm saying, just your delts. Dumbbell lateral raises, just your side delts, and rear delt flies, just your rear delts. So if you want to focus and just want to build on one specific body group, muscle group, then you will work on isolation. But if you want to work more on your power, your overall strength, then I would definitely recommend squats, deadlifts, standing military press, push-ups, barbell lunges, pull-ups. Like Chris was saying, always start with the body movement. Like even we've been lifting for years, and before I start any of my workout, everybody know we do not start a workout without doing pull-ups. I'm not too good for pull-ups. And that's the basics. Pull-ups and push-ups, that's body weight. I try to perfect my form. I try to pre-exhaust my muscles. With pull-ups, you're recruiting more than one muscle group as well, which, like I say, compound. You're incorporating more than one muscle group, so definitely try to, each one has its pros and its cons, you know what I'm saying, for each his own, but those are definitely the differences, and they can go into detail more on it.
Another thing about compound movements, so like he said, they recruit more than one muscle, so a lot of people, they want to be in a caloric deficit. Their goal requires them to be in a caloric deficit. So if you're going to be in a caloric deficit, you want to attack as many muscles as you can in the gym. So that's why compound movements are great. Another thing about compound movements, a lot of them, they help with like function as a human being, like actual function, like lunges, squats. Like there are going to be times throughout your day where you have to lunge or you have to pick up something. Maybe you're helping your friend move. You have to move a couch. You're going to have to squat. You're going to have to lift stuff up. So compound movements help with everyday life, opposed to machines where you're just isolating one muscle. There aren't too many times throughout your day, like a regular day, where you're going to just isolate your shoulder or isolate your chest. Maybe every now and then, but I feel like compound movements are just better for your joints, better for movement, better for everything just in life.
I'll go on the flip side of that, and you mentioned caloric deficit, but also compound movements are, I come from, you know, how I was first taught when training was a bodybuilder standpoint, and a lot of the compound movements are used to build size because they recruit multiple muscle groups, and because you're able to lift heavier, because you're not just lifting with one side of your body, you're able to lift heavier, which allows you to lift more. Once you're able to lift more, then it allows you to pump more blood into those muscles and expand those muscle cavities open as far as you can. So that's another way, another reason for you to use compound movements. And now, on the flip side, when we get to isolation movements, we're all born with one side bigger than the other side. If you really measure yourself, if you measure your arms, if you measure your legs, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, your one side is going to be bigger than the other side. You have a dominant side, and you also have an inferior side. So what the isolation exercises do allows you to work one side at a time so that you can catch one side up to the other side. So let's say if you're doing 10 reps of dumbbell presses, you do 10 reps with both arms, but then you can put one dumbbell down, or you can just hold it up, and then on that weaker arm, just get as many as you can, extra reps in. That way, by the time you get done and you continuously doing it, you'll eventually catch that side up to the other side, and it'll balance you out as much as possible.
Yeah, so my version of compound and isolation movements is, me particularly, if I want to work on a specific muscle group, like I want to attack my biceps today, if I want to attack my specific quads today or my specific shoulders, I'll do isolation movements. But if I'm like if I missed the gym yesterday and now I got to make up, so I got to do a total body day, I may do compound movements to knock out multiple muscles in one day, because I'm doing a total body day. Or let's say, for example, I normally have an hour and a half or 2 hours to work out, but today I only got 45 minutes. So I can't do 8 isolation workouts. I need to knock out 4 or 5 compound movements to try to get as much work as I can in within that 45 minutes. So that's when I decide whether I'm gonna do a compound or isolation movement day. So that's my version.
And then when it goes down to when to perform them, I mean, I know some people have different training styles. The way I do, I normally try to focus on my compound movements first, because they normally exert the most energy, and then what I have left, but then I normally, just try to burn out and just keep pumping that blood. And once I got that pump from the heavy like barbell press, and that's when I'll finish off with like some flies and isolate and just get the rest of that blood pumping. That's the way I normally do. I mean, I know some people, they try to finish and burn out with the compound movements, and that's a whole nother topic right there, going into like burnouts and different types of set ranges and stuff like that.
Now, one thing I did also want to say was, I don't want you to get confused, because there are machines that act as isolation movements themselves. So you may go into the gym and see a shoulder press machine with 2 handles, where you can press them up individually. Those are still the same as doing free weights, but they're just in a machine form when it comes to stuff like that. So they can be used that way as well as in a compound way too. Okay, I just wanted you to, just in case you step into the gym and you see that and say, oh, well, that's not what was said. They do come in multiple forms. Okay.
Also, cables can be used as isolation movements. If you want to do a cable chest press, cable curl, you can do one arm, things like that, or separate the arm. So if you walk over to the cable machine, cables can definitely be used as isolation movement for your muscles.
An example of an isolation machine would be like the leg extension, hamstring curls, stuff like that.
All right, so we good with that? All right, so we're gonna get into rep range. One of our listeners wanted to know, like, what's the reason why sometimes, we may tell them, I want you to do 20, and then the next workout, okay, I may want you to do 12. Like, why are you telling me different rep range? What do the rep ranges mean? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? So we want to break down the whole rep range, things like that.
Yeah.
All right, so first, before we get into rep range, the main thing we want to focus on is the 5 phases of fitness. We have the stabilization, endurance, hypertrophy, strength, and power. Now, each one of those phases require a different rep range. In the stabilization phase, you're going to do a rep range of 12 to 20. Endurance, pretty much the same thing, 12 to 20. Once you get into the hypertrophy phase, it's like 8 to 12. And then power, strength will be 1 to 5. That's when you max out. And then power is back up to like the 12 to the 15 range. So the reason behind all these, so if a trainer tells you, I want you to do like a high rep range of like 12 to 20, it's because we're working on your stabilization and your endurance. We want to see how long can your muscles last without becoming fatigued. For example, if you can only do, let's say, 10 curls before you get exhausted, well, I want you to do 20, so that now as you build up that endurance, your muscles don't get fatigued as fast. So if you're going up a flight of steps, you're not dead tired after one flight of steps. We're working on your muscle endurance. So that's why we have you in those large rep ranges to help your muscle endurance so you don't get fatigued so quickly. When you get into the hypertrophy phase is phase 3. That's when you're working on your muscle size. You want to get your muscles bigger. For guys, maybe your chest, your shoulders, your back. For girls, your glutes, your hamstrings, things like that. Then the rep range comes down, the weight goes up. So your rep range will go between 8 to 12. So because the rep range went down, the heavier weight is now incorporated into that workout. So you want to get that muscle group larger. So because we want to get it larger, we want to load on more weight and bring the reps down. Now, once you get into the strength part, which is phase 4 of the workout program, you want to get stronger. Now, getting bigger and stronger are similar, but not the exact same thing. You ever heard somebody say, I want to see what my max is, I want to max out? That's the strength phase. You would do between 1 to 5 reps in that rep range. I mean, because your reps are going down so low, now you're really loading the weight on to see how strong you can get. You're trying to become as strong as possible so you max out. The last phase is phase 5. That's the power phase. This is mainly for athletes where you do power movements. Like a squat will be a strength exercise. A squat jump will be a power workout because it's explosive. Anything where you're exploding. A lunge, a reverse lunge, or a front lunge is a strength. A lunge jump will be a power exercise. So because you're in that range, you want to do, like I said, between 12 to 15 reps within that range. Now, when we say rep range, we mean this. So if I tell you I want you to do a rep range of 12 to 20, that means you should be able to at least do 12 reps and you should not be able to go over 20 reps. So if your rep range between 12 and 20, if you get to 8 and you can't go anymore, the weight is too heavy because you couldn't even make it to 12. If you get to 20 and you're like, I could probably did 5 more, the weight is too light. If your rep range is between 12 and 20, you should be burning out around about 14, 15. You should barely make it to 20. If you can't get to 12, it's too heavy. If you're blowing past 20, it's too light. You need to be within your rep range, and that is how you find your rep range. So if you grab 5-pound weights, I say I want your rep range 12 to 20. You grab 5-pound weights, you give me 25. Okay, now we gotta go up to 10 pounds. You still give me 25, we're gonna keep going up until you stop between 12 and 20. That's when you find your perfect weight for that rep range.
And then also to piggyback off of what Javon said, when it comes to different training styles, so when you're trying to train for strength, you're trying to train for power, you're trying to train for endurance, your break times change. So somebody that's trying to somebody that's trying to train for endurance and trying to do for fat loss and weight loss, their rep range between 12 to 20, we might give you like a minute, 45 seconds to a minute break. But for somebody that's trying to train for strength and you're going for your 1 to 3 reps, you're going to need a longer break to, you know what I'm saying, so that you don't exhaust your muscles. You're going for power, you're not going for endurance. You want to try to get the most as you can out of that lift, so you'll take to 2 to 3 to 4 minute breaks. You know what I'm saying, so that you can get your energy back, so that you're fully recovered. You don't need to, if you're going for power, you don't need to be going to your second lift out of breath. You should be fresh. You should be fresh, and you should have all your energy back from the last lift so that you can give everything you got and beast out and press that weight out. So that's another thing to piggyback off.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that, like in my class, they probably get maybe 20 to 30 second breaks.
Right,
I didn't give them a whole minute.
Right, I was stretching it.
Yeah, 20 to 30 second break. You're like, I'm not even recovered from the last set. That's the point.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to push yourself past your limits. You know what I'm saying? If I give you a 5-minute rest break between every set, we didn't start the whole work. You got to warm up again. You got to start the whole workout over. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to fully recover from the previous set before you go to the next one. Like, you really got to push yourself, push past your limits. If this, I tell everybody like this, if this is your ceiling right here, okay? If you always go ahead and stop, get ahead and stop, you do this for 5 months, your ceiling never changed. You have to break through it to get higher. If you never push past, if you keep reaching your limit and stopping, reaching your limit and stop, it never moved. You never got anywhere. You have to move it up. You're hurting, push it up. That's how you get better. Stop hitting your limit and then stopping, hit your limit and stop. You have to push past your limit. And that's what we're here for. We're here to put our foot up your butt and make you do something that you probably wouldn't do on your own.
And that's another thing. We brought up heart rates last weekend. So that's just, when you keep going like that, it's going to keep your heart rate up. So basically with my clients, we train in circuits. So I have 3 to 4 exercises in the circuit with, it's really no rest. As soon as you finish, you're going right to the next one, right to the next one, right to the next one.
Yeah.
And one of y'all just said it, that's key for weight loss
fat burn.
and fat burn. It's key for that, keeping that heart rate up.
So basically, to kind of also add into what they were saying, it goes back to when we were talking about your body adapting to the stress that you put on it. That goes for the inner portion of your body or the outer portion of your body. So when I say the inner portion, meaning like running, you're getting your heart rate up, sprinting, jogging, that type of thing. You're working the inner portions of the body, the muscles that you don't see, your organs like your heart, that type of thing. And then when you're lifting the weights, you're working the outer portions of your body that you can actually see what the difference in. Either way, your body is going to adapt to the stress that you put on it. So if you're lifting, I think you said it one week, I don't remember which episode it was. If you're lifting 5 pounds this week, then the next week try to go high, try to go heavier. If you can't, that's okay. Don't get down on yourself. Don't feel like you're a failure. Don't feel like you want to give up or not do it just because you didn't do it in that moment. Because the more consistent you are with trying to get to the next level, the easier it's going to become to get to the next level. I look at it like this. It's a lot of billionaires that are walking this earth that failed.
So many times.
Like they failed.
Yeah,
some of them didn't even go to college. Some of them dropped out of college. Bill Gates dropped out of college. Like some people failed in order to get to where they are. Like you gotta let's not run away from failing, because you're really I want to change that term up. I don't know what term I can use. I want to change the term up because you only fail
Challenges,
when you stop.
lessons learned.
Obstacles.
Right. You only fail when you stop.
Yeah, facts.
You're not a failure until you give up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So as long as you're trying to do something, trying to get better, and continuing on, you're not a failure. You just have to learn from every time that you do it until you get it right. But if you give up, then that's when you become a failure. So as it translates back to what we were talking about as far as the weights go, whatever your goals are, whether it's weight loss, whether it's to put more size on, whether it's just to get stronger, like continue to do whatever it is that your mind is set on. Whether if you're trying to do weight loss, more than likely you're not going to be doing a bunch of super heavy weight. You're going to kind of more focus. We're gonna that's going to branch off too. We're going to kind of go in. You're going to try to lift. For endurance. But if you can't reach that 20, it's okay. It's okay. Next week try to get that 20. Then the week after that try to get that 20. If you're trying to be the world's strongest man, it's okay. If you want, push a car, whatever it is that they do. All it takes is for you to continue to try. Just don't give up. Okay.
I want to tell you what he was saying was that this is a quote that I always say is that it's a process, but quitting won't get you there any faster. So the whole quitting thing is like you're not failing unless you quit. So this is a process. You won't become stronger overnight. You won't lose weight overnight. It is a process. Understand this is a process. I understand we live in a popcorn generation where everything got to be now, right here, 1 minute. But quitting will not get you there any faster. And to speak on the women, quote unquote, getting bulky and big and things like that, if your goal is now, if you want to be a bodybuilder, that's something different. If you email say you want to be a bodybuilder, we'll take a whole different route with this. But most of y'all want to tone up or lose weight. I can't speak for every trainer in America, but honestly, no trainer will have you lifting so heavy that you will look like a bodybuilder. First of all, the food is what makes you. The food is what makes you get big. Okay, it's not the weight. The food is what makes you get big. But also to that, won't no trainer give you an 80-pound dumbbell and say curl this? We're not doing that. Like
it's supposed to be challenging.
Come on now, like it's not. No, we're not gonna do that.
It's supposed to be challenging. Yeah.
We might give you a weight. It's gonna make you work. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna make you work, but we're not gonna make you lift nothing that we know you guys can't do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying, fellas and females. Like we're not gonna provide y'all with something that we know that's gonna. First of all, it might injure you because you never lifted that weight before. But at the end of the day, we're gonna push you. So if you normally only do, like you say, if you normally only do 20s for shoulder press for like 8 reps, okay, cool. I'm gonna give you the 25s. Even if you're not doing 8 reps, give me at least 5 reps out of them.
And another thing too is that's why we're there. So if you can't get the full 8 reps from what we're doing, we're there to spot you and to help you get to that point. That's why you're coming to us, is for us to help you. So
and you're supposed to feel uncomfortable. Like we're supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. You won't change, you won't grow if you're not uncomfortable. It should be a goal. Man, I gotta get out of my comfort zone today. That's how you grow. That's how you get better. Like you didn't just wake up and start riding a bike or just driving a car. It felt uncomfortable at first, but you kept doing it, and now you learn how to do it. So the same thing applies to fitness.
And like Jeff said, like I think it was like episode 1 or 2, like do you think it's a mindset? And like with anything in life, whether it's fitness, whether it's in your workforce, whether it's in your daily life, you have to believe. That's the first thing you gotta do. You gotta believe here, because if you don't believe here, it's not gonna happen. If you going into it saying, man, I'm just gonna work out, but I don't really think that I can drop 20 to 30 pounds. I don't think I can do it, but I'm just gonna go through the process. You're not gonna do it. You gotta literally trick your mind. You literally gotta trick your mind and say, I don't care, even though it might seem impossible, I'm gonna do it. Literally, that's the same thing in the gym when you lift a heavy weight. If you lift a weight you never lifted before, okay, you're not gonna have that confidence in your mind, but you have to believe and be like, all right, I never lifted before, but today gonna be the day. You gonna move today. I don't care what you say. The weight don't got no heartbeat. The weight don't got no pulse. I'm the one moving you. So if I say you gonna move today. You gonna move today. Yeah, you the 110. You ain't moved last week, but today we got a meeting. I got a meeting with you today, and I swear you are going to move. I'm not leaving this gym until you move. And that's the mindset you gotta have with your stomach, with your body fat. Body fat, you gonna move today. Body fat, you gonna move today. You've been on me for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. You going away. You gotta claim. You gotta force it. Force it to go. Don't give it y'all giving y'all body fat a choice. Don't give your body fat a choice. Say it's going away and it's gonna go away.
Hey, listen to him. Don't just get caught up at the yelling.
Listen a lot of people get lost and like
listen to what he's saying.
The antics, but like if you listen to his passion, like he be making me ready to work out. Like I'm trying to do some push-ups right now because like I be feeling what he's saying. But back to the whole women getting bulky thing. Like I said, no trainer will real life give you weight that's gonna make you. First of all, it's the food that makes you bulky. But honestly,
just think,
we not gonna have you curling 50-pound dumbbells. Like, we're not going to do nothing like that. Yeah, we're going to give you challenging weight that you're not used to. That don't mean it's going to make you bulky. It's going to make you better. It's going to make you burn more fat. And if you include that with your water and your nutrition like you're supposed to be doing, you will slim down. But if we give you a 25 dumbbell to curl and then you leave here and go get some Wendy's or Chipotle, that muscle's going to turn into big and bulky. Like, because you're not feeding it the right stuff. You got to understand, you do not lose weight or lose fat or get bigger or stronger in the gym. You break your muscles down, you tear your muscles down. Your muscles recover when you are sleeping out of the gym. So if you're feeding it crap outside of the gym, that's when you get all bulky or slim down or whatever. So you're not, lifting these weights ain't making you bigger in the gym. After you lift them, if you go eat crap, you're going to get bigger. You know what I'm saying?
It's them brunches.
It's the brunches.
I ain't saying don't go to brunches.
Let's go though. But don't go right after you working out when your muscles on 10, you recovering. You putting French toast.
You can't go to happy hour after you work out.
Right. You putting French toast. You putting pancakes in your muscles.
So we going to continue this to the next episode, but we going to leave y'all with one thing from this episode.
The main thing I would recommend, my main focus is with this episode is just to stay disciplined. Stay disciplined in the gym. Stay disciplined in life. When pain comes, still stay focused. Stay disciplined, man.
My thing is, I have 4 things, but they all amount to the same thing. Number 1, you need to believe it in your mind. You need to see it that you can do whatever it is that you're going to do, and really believe it. Then next, you need to speak it, like you said, speak it into existence. You need to say out loud that you can do it. The body fat is going to move today. Then the next thing after that you need to do is put action behind your words, because as long as you continue to speak and not put action behind it, it's not going to change. And then you're going to keep doing it until it manifests. Once it manifests, rinse and repeat.
I would say make it a goal to challenge yourself. Make it a goal to get uncomfortable, because if it doesn't challenge you, it won't change.
Pretty much piggyback off that is push past your limits. Like the example, don't get to your limit and keep stopping. Don't get there and keep stopping. If you could sprint for 15 seconds, next time do 20. Next time do 25. Don't keep doing what's comfortable. Push past your limits.
Fit Talk, we out.
Bang.
We out.